Welcome everyone to our full moon astrological horoscope for Sunday, December 3rd. Now, as with all new moon and full moon energies, this will be spanning for the next 2 weeks, in which we will have our next full moon and more to work towards for the next full moon harvest. Alright, so you may already notice, but this video is going to be a little bit long. And disclaimer, we might get a little political in here. There's a lot of energy aligning up within the next couple days, if not weeks, honestly, that are just going to be extremely like, whoa. There's a lot of events that have been happening that are just like, are you kidding me? And, in order to make sense of this, I'm just going to have to talk about things that I normally wouldn't want to talk about. It's either that or getting drunk, and I don't think getting drunk to understand astrological horoscope is a good idea nor professional. So that's gonna be my disclaimer moving forward. We do have a lot of harvest to make or bring in, but we also have a lot of energy that we need to be looking for moving forward. And one of the reasons I kind of took so long to make this video is because holy shit, where do I even go with this? How do I begin? There's so much to talk about and so little sense being made. So I'm gonna try my best to go through this. This might not be as smooth as most of my videos, but literally I have like 2 pages to talk about here. And let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So hey guys, it's been a little while. Finally got my hot water back, was able to take a delicious shower, and feeling all nice and warm now. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. First of all, as you can see from the map off the bat, it looks insane. It is absolutely insane, and I'm just really trying to make sense of all of this. Alright, so what do we got happening, right? December 3rd, it's going to be around 10:46 a.m. in which the sun and the moon will be perfectly opposing each other down to the minute, which is the 40 here, both being on the 11th degree. During this time, we have everyone making some of the weirdest fucking aspects I've seen in astrology since I picked it up. So, if y'all didn't think this full moon wasn't going to be loaded and crazy and energetic and life-changing, y'all really are sleeping. This full moon is going to highlight a lot of shit. So let's get into it, right? The first things we want to talk about are the moon aspects. Niwa, what's going on with the moon? Well, I say that a lot of our payload, as you can see, is definitely going to be with our Jupiter and Vesta, which is going to be making a in conjunct. That's the nice little pretty green line from our moon over to Jupiter and Vesta. So this is our payout, right? This is going to be our big our big moolah, what we've been essentially waiting for, right? It's what all these transformations have been all about. Because remember that the new moon was at the end of Scorpio. So Scorpio is essentially sponsoring the new moon transformations that we've been wanting since 2 weeks ago. And so Jupiter and Vesta here are definitely going to be the ones giving us the handouts. But, things aren't going to be as easy as we had hoped them to be, right? Every time we have a full moon, there's always the possibility that something just might get in our way. And that's exactly what is kind of happening here. We invested quite a lot into this full moon, hoping that the next 2 weeks were going to be quite the bountiful one. And even though it is, it's going to come with its things. Now, keep in mind that during this full moon transit, once the moon moves over to Cancer, Chiron is going to be going direct, which means that the wounds that we've been trying to heal while Chiron has been retrograding are internal wounds, personal wounds, wounds that affect, our past and even our past lives, really. So it's been a very profound thing throughout the last several months, really, that Chiron has been retrograding in order for us to heal our internal self. And once Chiron goes direct here during this full moon transit that we're gonna be having for the next 2 weeks, this is its last retrograde. Once it goes direct, it's going to go all the way into Aries next year, somewhere between March and April. So this is going to be our last Chiron in Pisces, unless it retrogrades back into it. And which I believe it may, but once it touches Aries, it's definitely going to have that Aries flair, and not so much this spiritual connection that we've been having with Pisces. And so once it goes direct, that's going to affect more on the collective moving forward, as opposed to the personal looking inward. And that's where this story really begins, because as you can see, for us to get our payload, we have a lot of things in our way. So again, if I haven't already explained this a million times, the moon is really our emotions, our basic self. Well, not our basic self, more like our innermost self, our needs, right? The moon really talks about the need of the people, especially during transits here, because we're not necessarily talking about any person's natal chart, but we're talking about the collective here. These are the needs of the people, and the people need truth. They need to know what the truth is. This is going to be a very big thing during our two different aspects occurring at the same time regarding Neptune. So if y'all think that Neptune wasn't or was out of the picture at this point, you're slacking. You're sleeping on things. In order for us to really make out with our bounty, that is Jupiter and Vesta together, perfectly trining down Neptune, literally 11 degrees here. If there wasn't enough 11s on the chart, there's like freaking 4 of them. So like for us to be able to make out with our bounty, we need to go through Neptune first. Now keep in mind here that we're not necessarily talking about a retrograding Neptune, right? We're not going to be fighting Neptune. Neptune going forward, think of the 7 of Cups upright as opposed to reversed, which reversed would be kind of more like, unable to choose things properly, a lot of illusions, fantasy, you're not looking at things with the proper order. No, Neptune's going direct right now, which means this is like a 7 of Cups upright. This is choices. This right here represents choices. Our bounty, which is being sponsored by the moon, we have the choice to decide where this bounty goes. Now, we can either give this bounty to our sun, or we can give this bounty to our moon. Now, what's the difference here, right? All right, hold on, Niwa, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean, giving it to our sun and our moon? What the hell are you talking about? Well, remember that the new moon was in Scorpio. New moon was in Scorpio. Scorpio was all about our desires, our intensity, the things we want in life, and how to achieve them, essentially. And so now that we're at this point, right, in a couple hours from now, we're at this point where we will be having our opportunity to get the things we want. We now need to choose exactly what it is that we want. What do we want in life? Do we want our needs? Do we want to know our truths? Do we want to know what exactly has been going on in relation to everything? Or do we want our wants? Right? Because the sun is the ego, as well as love. Is it, the things that we love? Is it the things we want? The things that we desire? Are we going to go with the more scorpionic version of our bounty? Or are we going to go more towards our moon, which, they're things that are emotional to us, things that are important to us, things that we absolutely need. So this is going to be a very big decision-making part on a lot of people, whether you're going to choose the things you want or the things you need. That's how eventually your payout is going to look like. So it's very, very, very fascinating, because, we have a tricolor here with the moon, but, the moon isn't the only one with a tricolor. If we look at this chart over here, even the sun also has its own tricolor. So it's like, whoa, whoa. We usually don't get two tricolors like this on a full moon. This is not normal. I need to stress this. This is not normal. And so, once again, we're back at this a point, right? Choices. What are we going to choose? Now, in my belief here, I will, chip in my 2 cents and say that whatever it is that we choose, whether it be this side or this side, we need to learn about the things that we want in life, things we're passionate about in life, the things that we want to nurture in our life, literally our life's goal. Because remember, we've been talking about the nodes for quite some time now. The north node is your path in this life, whereas the south node is your life or your path in the previous life. And so, the sun here is kind of saying, I know we're a little egotistical. I know we have a lot of wants, a lot of desires, a lot of things we just, want to consume in our life. But we need to make sure that whatever it is we're consuming in our life is the things that are going to propel us forward in our lives. Are we nurturing the things that will move us forward, or are we going to nurture something that instead is going to hinder us? And, making the right choice will lead to a beneficial boost to ourselves. So, overlaying these two on top of each other, kind of something like that, colors distort a bit, we're left with, that's not the thing I wanted to pick up. We're left with a lot of really big choices here in our lives. And this T-square between the moon, the sun, and Neptune is really highlighting, how do you want your payout to look like? What do you want your payout to truly look like? Now, in my, kind of 2 cents in here, whatever kind of payout you want should really make sure that it satisfies you. Or at the same token, both something that satisfies you, because remember that Vesta is about sacrifice for your commitment to yourself, making sure that you can be satisfied internally by the actions that you have taken. But by the same token, it's also in Scorpio, which means that sometimes we need to let go of our desires in order to be able to feel self-satisfied. So for me, that's the biggest indication that what we should be choosing is the moon instead of the sun. Because Vesta is telling us to let go of that Scorpio energy. It's almost like, when someone walks up to you and it's like, oh, you can get, $1 million if you go and take out that target. They're literally showing you, here's $1 million. You can have this easily. All you need to do is kill that person over there. Not that hard. But then you go and find out who the person is, and you're like, I can't do this. This person has a family. This person has children. There are a lot of people that depend on his success. I can't go and, ruin someone else's life because of my selfish desire for my bounty, if you will. So it's a huge indication of, you are fighting against temptation. There are evil forces that want to give you free shit, but with all of the strings attached. Are you going to make the right choice when you choose your bounty and make sure that it goes in the correct direction? It goes in the direction that will lead you to your life's path. That's a really big, nail point, if you will, going forward with this energy. However, that's only the first part of this full moon, and literally that's where a lot of our bounty stuff really ends, because there's so much so much that we still need to go over, and this is where things get a little bit hectic, right? So we spoke about 2 tricolors that are occurring during this full moon transit, but the truth is there's 3. This is where things become complicated. This aspect is rather insane and crazy, and for being a small sextile, you wouldn't believe it, but it's fucking loaded, like just absolutely loaded. What am I talking about? All right. We've been talking about the fall of Lilith. I believe I talked about it in one of my previous videos about how Lilith has fallen from grace down from Capricorn, the sign of government structure, power, through the galactic center as it gets outcasted through creation itself and thrown down into the boat or to the ground, essentially, right? Lilith is going to fall. This is our authority. This is our self-power, our freedom, our expression, our ability to delegate actions. And, you know, this is going to be a lot of internal strife and pain. You know, it's squaring Chiron right now, along with some of the other aspects as well. This is a very big... Communication, essentially, is one of the biggest problems that we have right now. And it's no surprise that Mercury will be retrograding during this full moon. So for the next 2 weeks, Mercury is going to be retrograding. What a fucking delightful time, right? It's going to be retrograding in Sagittarius, which is... Well, hold on. Let's do the counters correctly, right? Mercury, communications, technology, making sure that shit works properly. Retrograding, whammy number 2. In Sagittarius, opposing its ruler sign. Whammy number 2. Being on top of Saturn. Whammy number 3. Communications are shit, are broken, are not working. I'm telling you, it's going to get political. Our senators not listening to what it is that we want in our lives. And choices not being taken as they should be. Now, I told you, it was going to get political, and here it begins, you know. If you are within the United States at the moment, you know that one of the recent pieces of bill that has passed within the 24 hours is the tax reform, or what some people are calling the tax scam, right? If you take a look, if you taken a look at it, you know that it's going to be screwing up a lot of people. You know, most of the lower working class taxes are going to go up, breaks for the rich, gutting public education funds, screwing over people's health cares, and it's going to essentially cause a lot of pain and suffering for people who thought they were going to be getting reliefs. Especially those that are in the Trump boat, once they actually see what's really going to happen, they're going to flip their shit. They're going to open their eyes. They're going to say, this is not what I signed up for. And that shitstorm will blow up when it's time. However, during this full moon transit, we also have another thing that will be occurring. And that's the voting for the FCC on December 14th. Our full moon is going to be on December 17th, which means that the energies of this full moon will be affecting what will be happening on the 14th. Communication is broken. On top of that, we have no authority of what's going on. Our collective energy, even though it's been rising and it's getting close to Scorpio, is still in the sign of Libra, which is crippling to say the least. However, things get more interesting as we notice that, I forgot to put the line in here for the opposition, but it's opposing Uranus and Athena. You know, how do I go from this? Our lack of authority, our broken communication, and our need to learn from horrible experiences is going to be what is going to cause us a lot of internal pain, suffering, and strife. And when this goes direct, people are going to take that change, that pain, and project it forward. Now, The reason why a lot of this is really interesting is because, one, Chiron is in conjunct with Mars, so it's making a green aspect here. And so, you know, Mars in Libra is literally trying to find equilibrium, balance, justice to everything that is occurring. It's trying to keep harmony. It's trying to make sure that people don't fucking lose their absolute shit. So having Mars in Libra while opposing Uranus and Athena, you see a lot of almost like passive aggressiveness. You see a lot of people, you know, stating their opinions, their disgust. A lot of people just disagreeing with what's going on. Having Uranus retrograding is a lot of internal change and just inner fighting, and can be a very big factor for things like civil war, because essentially it's one body of people fighting amongst each other as opposed to fighting with others. So Uranus retrograding is a big fighting against yourself, and with Athena retrograding, that's a lot of like having no focus moving forward with the changes that you want to initiate. I mean, keep in mind that Athena has two different descriptions. She is both the goddess of wisdom, and right now when you're retrograding, you don't have the right sense of mind in what it is you're doing. And two, she is the defender of Athens, right? She carries her Aegis shield, and so there's going to be a very big, almost internal strive to be able to keep harmony in place despite this chaos in directions that we can't even, you know, begin to delegate. There's going to be a lot of actions to try to rein in a lot of this chaos and defend our rights in a political sense, but even our own freedom. So it's going to be pretty fucking big, and as you can see with the sextile here, this Mars is a change that we as a people need to initiate. This is not something that will happen on its own. This is a powerful indicator of people needing to consciously take action. Consciously take action. Revolutions, you know, uprising essentially, and, you know, taking actions while opposing this energy is absolutely crazy and a little bit scary, because we don't know how people are going to react to all of this. And assuming, which there's a 80% chance, that our net neutrality will get gutted on the 14th before the next new moon, this is the energy that is going to follow. People are already pissed off about, you know, the tax scam passing. People are going to get even more pissed off when they find out that their internet is about to get gutted. If they haven't already. Most people are aware of it, but once it actually occurs, ooh. Now, if you've been watching my partner Mylena's live cast on Twitch, you'll have seen her predictions, and she kind of states that, you know, there's going to be a big probability that, yeah, you know, net neutrality is going to get gutted, and a lot of people are going to be enraged about it, and it's going to be a necessary change in the structure. Pluto and Capricorn, a necessary change in our structure to make people realize what it is that they should be doing in life, that in conjunct with the North Node, right? So change is inevitable. Change will happen. We're not going to like it. Things are going to get worse before they get better, but they will get better. Now, if you've seen any other predictions, things for like 2020 and whatnot, you know that there's going to be a lot of really profound changes that will leave America changed forever. But, hold on one second, need some new moon water here. But it's all leading us to something more powerful. And this is why Ceres is conjunct the North Node. This is why we need to be nurturing our path life right now. This is why we're going through the trial by fire. And if you thought that, you know, Aries is direct and is going to keep moving forward and it's going to leave the North Node, you got another thing coming. Because Ceres is going to be retrograding on the day that Saturn goes into Capricorn, which means that it's going to come back down through the North Node, and these two are going to be staying together for quite some time. This is not going to be a quick thing. We're going to be seeing these two together at least until April of next year. This is a very long and significant aspect that is going to be changing a lot of things. Also, I haven't even gotten to half the message here, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that is going to be happening, and dear God, I hope you guys have been preparing, because this is insane. Now, in regards to Lilith, which is, you know, our authority, our freedoms, our autonomy, our ability to delegate the things that we want in our life, you know, Lilith is going to be falling. Now, using the horoscope on my phone to be able to look into the future here, one of the things that I have been noticing is that Lilith is going to be making quite an interesting turnaround. And when I say interesting, oh boy, do I mean it. Let me see. Can I capture this on the phone or on screen? All right. You see that right there in Sagittarius, in the middle? Let's see if it like zooms. Lilith is on top of Venus. Lilith is going to be... Okay, this is why I believe all of this is so important and significant. Lilith is going to be going direct once it conjuncts Venus, is one. And Lilith is going to be going direct when Mars enters Scorpio. These are two personal planets that are going to be making a lot of interesting... One is making a connection, and the other one is making a change at the same time. So we regain our authority to delegate as one female energy comes in contact with the other female energy. This is going to be a very big boom. This is going to be very big and profound and useful for us. But even most important, did you notice the degree in which they were going direct? 11 degree, exactly where the sun is right this moment during the full moon. On the same fucking degree. Coincidence? I think not. And at the same time, Mars is going to be entering Scorpio at the very same time, on the same day. This is beyond serendipity, because, you know, there's a thing there. You can call coincidences. You can say, oh, well, Niwa, that was just a coincidence. It happened. When there's so many things happening at once like that, that's beyond serendipity. That's just like, whoa, this is like, you know, this is really big energies for a lot of crazy things to happen. And I'm telling you guys, December is going to be a month of changes. Normally it's the month of celebration and moving forward and being happy, and I hope you're paying attention to everything that's happening around you right now, because you're gonna get caught off guard if you sleep on this. You're gonna get caught off guard if you sleep on all of this. So during this full moon transit, Lilith's going to be going direct. Chiron's going to be going direct. As soon as we're in the next new moon, within like 2 days, Athena's going to be going direct. Saturn's going to be entering Capricorn. The moon is going to be entering Capricorn and having a new moon with the sun before that. Lilith is going to be returning back to power to Capricorn to take on the establishment and the structure and everything that's going around. I'm telling you, there's a lot happening within the next 30 days, and I hope y'all ready for this, because it's gonna be it's gonna be a hell of a roller coaster. I feel hesitant to say all of this, because even as I'm reading all of this, I'm very skeptical of, like, Niwa, like, are you sure you're right in making a lot of these very outrageous claims? Like, this is really big that you're making, you know, if you fuck this up, it's going to be a little bit hectic. But no, this is beyond serendipity. If shit doesn't occur, you can throw me out of YouTube, but, like, Things are gonna happen. Watch. I totally burrito in this. And what is, if you have any doubt in any of this, allow me to give you one more aspect which will completely highlight everything. Look at that. The nodes are going to be squaring Jupiter. Now, a lot of you may not exactly know what this means. And in fact, I had to be doing a little digging myself to actually come into understanding of what this means and putting together what I've already, witnessed and understood, and some of the stuff that I recently picked up about it. This makes a lot of sense. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and we've talked about this before. Jupiter's expansion, its beliefs, it's seeing the bigger mechanisms behind our life. It's about traveling, which in a change is a change in structure in our lives because we're moving from one destination to another. It is essentially a gateway from reality to spirituality, as Sagittarius is the square between Virgo and Pisces. And Jupiter is in Scorpio right now. Jupiter in Scorpio is essentially exacerbating all of the darkness within the collective consciousness so that we may become aware of its existence. A perfect example of this is, let's talk about the Republican Party, right? There are people out there in the United States who still really believe that Republican Party has a very, that they care about the people, that they care about the working class, that they have good intentions for people, and that they're not bought out by the corporate establishment, that they haven't taken an extreme amount of money from their corporate donors, and that they're doing the bidding of the people. Jupiter in Scorpio is basically making that much worse, and it's basically it's going to be showing the people that no, they're not doing the bidding of the people. No, they are not on your side. No, right now, Jupiter in Scorpio is giving all those greedy motherfuckers everything they want so that it highlights and shows to the world exactly who and what they are. And squaring these nodes, it's basically a big spotlight to revealing and showing people what exactly it is that they should be believing in, what they should be supporting, backing up, and expanding upon. This is one of those moments in which Jupiter is basically going to be forcing us on a soul level to realize what it is that's actually been fucking happening, what our beliefs have been, and how they've been quite wrong. For those that still haven't come to realize that, there are people out there that don't have the best, or don't have them in the best of their interest. This T-square right here is a massive change in beliefs. If Jupiter is literally our belief in someone, which we just talked about Venus going into Sagittarius, right? What did we say? Venus just went through the shitstorm that was Scorpio, and she just wants to believe that not all men are absolute misogynist fucking pigs that are after her. That she is just perfectly fine and beautiful the way she is without having to compare herself with others. Venus wants to believe in others because it's in Sagittarius. Jupiter is literally our beliefs, and it's going to be changing our old beliefs and bringing us forth to what we should be believing. It's going to be exposing the shit that has been happening, opening our eyes to our beliefs and shifting them away from the things that we should be letting go to the things that we should be passionately moving into. And this isn't just going to be on a governmental level. This is also on an individual level. Keep in mind, when we talk about Aquarius, yes, we're talking about the odd kid that has an odd quirk, but he's also quite the genius. We're also talking about Aquarius being the sign of friendship. It's the highest octave of friendship. it's easy to to fall in love with someone and want to marry them and give everything to them. It's easy to love your family and give everything you have for the people that have been around in your life all this time. It is very hard for you to open your doors to your friend and let them in and give everything to them as if it was nothing, with no trust at all. Aquarius is the highest octave of love, where you can literally just open yourself up and trust that your friends are not going to screw you over. And so, South Node in Aquarius also talks about the more not so positive aspects of Aquarius, where it's, having a bunch of friends but not connecting to any of them, because Leo, the opposite sign, is ruled by the sun. It's ruled by love. It's ruled by passion. It's being very connected and very passionate with your friends. When it comes to Aquarius, it's like having a yellow books of contacts, where you have a lot of different people that can help you in a lot of different ways, but you're not exactly really committed to any of them. It's the I'd rather have 100 pennies instead of 4 quarters type of situation. And essentially, this is the type of mentality, the type of belief that we need to be letting go for our fellow men and women, our own, neighbors, friends, families, countrymen, our citizens. We're all, in the example that I'm giving here, we're all Americans and we should be standing together. Or in a larger scale, we're all human beings and we should be helping each other out. It doesn't matter if you're, a wealthy person, or if you're a bum, or you're a drug addict that needs to get off of that addiction, or if you're a let's go mineral, right? It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Islamic or Shinto or pagan or whatever have you. You should all be standing for one another. And I've been watching in the last 24 hours, all I see is essentially from the controlled media shit posting about Islam and people from the Middle East, instead of like what the fuck are you doing? These are people that need help. Why are you fucking kicking them down? Because of the color of their skin, or the invisible man in the sky that they worship? Like, what? They always try to make an example of, look at this guy, he's a terrorist, he wants to rape women and all this stuff. And it's like, yo, that's like the vocal minority. There are a lot of people in their states that have been ruled by tyranny and dictatorship, essentially, and they just want to get out of it. They don't want this life anymore. You talk to a lot of the young Middle Easterns, and they're gonna tell you, yeah, we don't like the way that the old people are running our country. We want our world to also be more Western, more progressive, move forward with love and compassion and unity. It's the old fox, just like it is here in the United States. It's the old greedy fox that are trying to keep the status quo, the shit that has been running for a long time. No, we should not be hating on our fellow generation because of where they were born, or what type of upbringing they have or anything. We should be standing with them to overthrow a generation of Pluto and Cancer, Pluto and Virgo, that need to get the fuck out of politics and stop running our fucking lives. A lot of the shit that they're essentially passing and whatnot are literally ruining our future, not theirs. They're already fucking old and gray. They're gonna be passing soon. It's our futures, the ones that are being affected. And so that's why it's opening up those beliefs to be able to stand with the people, with our fellow brothers and sisters, and stop seeing them as they live in a different country and across a different sea. Like, whatever happens in their lives doesn't affect me and all that. No. We need to change this mentality, this belief. We all live on Earth. We're all children of Gaia. We are all collected. This is why it's known as, or connected, excuse me, not collected, connected. That's why this is the collective consciousness. This is all of us as one embodiment. And so you're going to see a very big shift. There is going to be a large shift here. Oh, here it is. Here's that aspect I was talking about. Mars opposing these two energies down here, both Athena and Uranus. And, you know, this T-square has been happening with for quite some time now with Juno. You know, it's a sign of commitment. It's a sign of connection. And Mars is trying to, you know, make sure that we don't lose our harmony, our balance, and we don't go into either a civil war or a World War III because of the radical changes that have been going on without, you know, proper procedures and without patience. Because, you know, Uranus has been in Aries and has been getting temperamental and just flaring left and right. There's no grounding here. And we're just trying to stay committed to all of this because, you know, despite all the fucks that are running our government right now, we truly do love our Constitution. Despite our, you know, public education not being as great as it could have been, we were all taught that the Constitution is one of the greatest pieces of legislation ever written in human history. It really was. Yeah, sure, it had its problems, you know, 3/5 for slaves and whatnot, and not having the proper amendments right from the beginning. And yeah, sure, we had to make a couple changes in the next 200 plus years, but we fucking truly do love it. And we have always been committed to it and making sure that our freedoms are protected, that the things that we want to protect are we're, you know, making the best effort we can to do so. And it's because of this commitment to the things that we so much adore, our traditions that we've been with, you know, most if not all of our lives, we're going to need to make radical change to protect them. We're going to need to make radical changes to protect them. Mark your calendars, because I'm telling you, December 11th is going to be important. It's going to be the day where Lilith regains her power. Something may not necessarily happen that day because it's still a little bit soon, but energies will be shifting that day. December 14th, we're going to have the vote on the FCC, and net neutrality is most likely going to get gutted. December 17th, there's going to be a number of aspects that are going to be occurring, and anywhere between the 15th to the 22nd, we're going to see a number of shit fucking coming out. You want to talk about a loaded full moon, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. So, as we move forward to those dates, I do believe we have another new moon happening before then. Let me see real quick here. When is the next new moon in... Is it going to happen in Sagittarius? Sagittarius. That's going to be happening... Oh, wow. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? The next new moon is going to be occurring on December 18th. If we get it further back enough, it could be on the 17th. No, it's going to happen on the 18th. On the 18th, perfectly aligns with everything that we've just said between the 17th and the 22nd. We're also going to have a lot of planets in both Sagittarius and Capricorn. Well, not so much Capricorn, but definitely Sagittarius during this time. Mars is going to be in Scorpio by then. Lilith is going to be back in Capricorn. Athena is going to be going direct. Ceres is going to be retrograding. Chiron's going to be going direct. Juno will have entered Aquarius. Like, there's so much happening. There's so much happening. I can't even begin to just fathom how all of this information is just going to go out. Or all this energy is going to play out, I should say. So yes, there's a lot of positive energy happening around, right? If you go back to the beginning of the stream, we're definitely talking about this whole energy of what it is that we want in life, and we have a lot of choices to make. We have a lot of choices to make, both on a collective level as well as on an individual level. On a collective level, we have a lot of shit that we're gonna have to work with within the next couple weeks. Unfortunately, that's what it's looking like, and I will try to discuss more about it as we come into that energy. But this feels like the reality of it all, you know. I've been looking through it, just, you know, looking at the couple days ahead to see whether Niwa, are you fucking insane or actually serial about this? And well, I'm perfectly serial. There's gonna be a lot of shit happening. Also, new moon water just finished. There's gonna be a lot of crazy shit happening. So what last piece of advice can I leave you with, guys? What can I leave you with? Okay. Let's pull it back. Let's get out of the depressing collective energy. Let's bring it back to something a little more personal that you guys could definitely benefit from. Alright, you guys know that your bounty is coming. It's coming. You guys have been working for it. If you guys have been putting all the work these last 2 weeks, making sure that you've been cutting the people that you shouldn't be, that don't need to be in your life, and opening space for people that you will be meeting. This full moon, if you haven't already met anyone during the moon in Aquarius, this full moon, which is the next 2 weeks, is going to be exposing you to a lot of essentially situations, people. It's a very good time. Oops, that was not what's supposed to happen. With Venus and Sagittarius now during this full moon, it's a very good time to meet people, to connect with others. You know, Sagittarius is all about goofing off, having fun. It's fucking the energy of moving into not Christmas but Yule, and I'll talk a little about that, right? We're trying to get rid of the Christ in Christmas. It's getting that festive energy. It's the happy holidays. Everyone is out going partying, putting up their lights, setting up their Christmas trees, or, you know, if you're the 12 days of Hanukkah, they're doing all their celebrations and whatnot. It's a very positive energy. So Venus being in Sagittarius during this time, it's a very, very good time to just have a lot of fun and connect with people, and, you know, who knows what could happen. Like, there's definitely a lot of potential for a bit of romance. I'm not exactly going to hide that fact. I see a lot of really beneficial stuff with Venus and Sagittarius. Is it the most important out of this whole entire chart? No, of course not. Venus and Sagittarius just might say you might make a lot of new best friends, or you might get invited into a group that you haven't been before, and it's gonna expose you to an environment that is very happy and festive, right? So definitely something to look forward to. You know, it's time to really open that eyes and just realize really what is important in your life and what it is that you want to move forward to. You know, once Saturn enters Capricorn on December 19th, the cement settles, and things are going to be much more difficult to initiate and take part of afterwards. So if there's any big plans that you want to make, you definitely wanted to have made them during the full moon. You don't want to initiate them now, because Mercury is retrograding in its worst possible position in the entire fucking zodiac. So making anything new now probably isn't going to be all that swell. However, it is transiting over Saturn, which is very restrictive on Mercury's part, but it's also a very big learning experience, especially learning about the fact that we don't have the authority to do things as we normally would like to. So it's a very big kind of like, okay, look, you can't go the short way. What can you do, even if you have to go the long way? Let's fucking go through it. Let's learn a couple lessons. Let's gain some additional experience before we go fight a boss at the end of the road, right? So it's definitely a big leveling up time period in which you're going to connect with people differently. You're going to connect with people differently, or you may connect with a lot of different people that are different from yourself, right? Remember what we were just saying about the Middle East and North America, right? We may be connecting with other people that are speak a different language than us, and we're going to have to learn how to communicate with them, or maybe had a different style of upbringing or culture or religion or whatever. And it's time to connect with people that are outside of our normal circle. And with a lot of this Sagittarius energy, look at this. We got 5 placements in Sagittarius right now. This is... there's a fucking party going on in here. And Mars and Libra is throwing it. So there's a lot of... we're having a sextile here with Mercury and Saturn and Lilith with Mars as well. So there's a big party that's being hosted, and now is the time to meet people that you normally would have not met, right? Or would not have engaged with, and then you learn about these people, and it's like, whoa, hey, they're not as bad as everybody else is making them to seem. They're actually pretty cool. And this is just kind of really a big connecting with others period. If there's one advice I can give for everyone, this is the happy holidays season. It's definitely a good time to just kick back, have fun, connect with others, be harmonious, just spread love. Try not to spread any hate. Fuck the trolls. They'll eventually degenerate down into negative vibrations and continue to exist for the rest of eternity. I mean to say that you should just stay forward, moving with passion and love in your heart, and don't listen to the stereotypes that a lot of people talk about. Don't listen to propagandas that are going around the world. Stay committed to the things that are traditional to you, that are important to you, that you want to achieve. Because remember, Capricorn is really also about achieving. So definitely staying committed to the things that you do want to achieve, and move forward with the plans that are highlighting that north node, because there's going to be quite a lot of opportunities happening, and you don't want to miss out on it. And it's one of the reasons why on the previous video I was telling you guys, question everything. I want you to question everything. I don't want you to blindly follow people because they're opening their mouths and they're telling you information. No, I didn't just mean that on a higher realm sense. I know I didn't want to fearmonger about that. But I want you to question everything, your beliefs, the establishment, the people that are supposed to be following you or working for you, the people on the other side of the world that you may not know. Maybe someone who's been ridiculed and labeled for something. Go, talk to them, find out whether the labels are actually true or not. A lot of people are mislabeled. You know how schools are. You put a label on a kid, and that kid's life is ruined for the rest of their educational career, because everyone's gonna see them as that dumb insert label here type of kid. I want you to be 100% comfortable with everything you're doing in life. And as a person who has their Mars in Scorpio, I don't like to settle a case until I have found the absolute truth to everything. Now, that might seem over extreme and over the top, and I will, honor that is true about me. But until I know what I'm getting into, which is a action that I am taking, sextiling Virgo, finding out the facts about things, I don't let anything rest. And I would like to pass that energy on to you guys. Stay productive, stay positive, stay passionate, stay motivated, and don't let others manipulate you or propaganda you into a direction that you do not need to be going. Know what it is that you're passionate about. Know what it is that you want to do in life. Question everything around you. And find out your truth. Find out what the truth is. Find out everything that's happening around you. Because, a A lot of these corporations, a lot of these businesses, a lot of these websites, even like Twitch, will not reveal to you what is actually happening behind the scenes. You think Twitch is all nice and happy? I'm telling you, go do a little bit of research right now. Just go to somewhere on Reddit and look for some scandals, allegations, and complaints that are happening behind Twitch's development team. Now, I'm not going to spill all the beans here. I'm going to let you go ahead and do your own little research, but there's a lot of shit behind even them that they're fucking up left and right. That's why I asked you, question everything. Because even though you think everything might be happy dandy and it's time for celebration, and yeah, fuck yeah, celebrate, there's also a lot of shit that's happening behind closed doors when no one's looking, and that's where I'm most afraid of in life right now. So if I haven't scared you guys off within the last 50 minutes, I thank you all for sticking around all the way to the end. Really do appreciate it. I know this is an extensive one. I told you guys I was very uncomfortable while making this video because there was going to be a lot of topics we were going to talk about, and overall I was just like, youch, this is going to be a very long one. But if you stuck to the very end, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. This is something that I'm very passionate about, as you guys can hear from my voice, and hopefully this helps and is of service to you all. You know, if you want to help out, I really do appreciate you guys spreading the word about our little channel here. You know, we got our social medias on the bottom. Links are down in the description below. Any likes or retweets really always do appreciate. Our store is still 25% off. Hashtag sell out here real quick. And yeah. You guys just take care. Have a good one. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. I'll be with you guys and coming out with some videos of how to make the most of it. Stay safe, stay positive, and I'll catch you guys on the next cast. Have a good one. Peace.